Alright, it might not have shown up, but this week had a lot of really big news that for some reason not a lot of people are talking about, so we're going to get into it ourselves. So kick back, grab a drink of milk, and let's jump straight into it. So obviously the big change over at CA is the nuts and bolts upcoming beta. I'll be honest, I couldn't care less about the balance changes that it intends to make, because I don't play multiplayer anyways, so as long as my single player is good to go, then I'm pretty much happy. That being said though, the beta update also has quite a few things for the single players such as us, such as permanent imprisonment being ended, yay, parole, a few tweaks to Grimgore's campaign, and a suite of bug fixes relating to single player. However, there's two changes that stand heads and shoulders above the others in my eyes. One of these is that the Black Orc Big Boss now has a dramatically improved skill tree apparently, and then two, finally, for the first time in the series, gambling your wins of magic is now an actual gamble. It will not produce the same result each and every time. This is an awesome change to have made, and I'm really happy to see CA keeping on top of updates at the pace that they're going with. So over on the forums, there's actually quite a few different topics going on, but the sad reality is because there's so many things going on, an extremely important thread that not a lot of people saw got buried. So I'm going to leave a link to it below, but you should definitely go and check it out. The user Zyphos, I'm not really sure how to pronounce their name, has finally figured out how to get new animations into the games. This is huge because that's half of the really big roadblocks that the CA mod tools have currently thrown up that have been solved. So now we have new models being forced into the game and new animations being forced into the game. New audio and map modification remain the only two things currently out of reach, but I'm so blown away at how clever the modding community for this game continues to be. I'm going to do a deeper dive into what this in particular means in a couple of weeks, because there's definitely some things that need to be discussed about it, but it's too long for this short video, so stay tuned in the future for that. So on the modding front, there's some really cool stuff that's already come out, but before I get into what's here already, I want to discuss two things that are still off in the future, starting with the Gorgon. I guess Chaos Roby decided that after having added a ridiculous amount of new models to the game, that wasn't a good enough justification to take a break, so now he's aiming to beat CA to the punch for adding in one of the most requested units for years now. He's also got the Lothern Skycutter in the hopper for the record, which I'm sure some people will be stoked to hear. Myself, I always consider the Lothern Skycutter to be kind of a dumb looking model myself, but I know it's going to tickle the fancies for some people. Anyways, moving over to the new stuff, mod author and Skaven lover Advice has found some cut Skaven content, including unused voice files, and has managed to re-implement them into the game. It adds a bunch of unique regiments of renown, and rather than just tweaking some stats and calling it a day, Advice went for the far more interesting option of adding different battlefield roles and effects to each of them. Mace has added in the scrap mechanic to the dwarves, a very loreful pairing that I'm surprised took so long, with their mod, Dwarf Upgrades runes. I'm also extremely happy to report that it uses the existing Upgrade system rather than requiring a new resource, because that makes the decisions about what to spend your Upgrade on quite a bit more interesting. Vandy, I'm sure many of you are familiar with that name, has created a brand new version of the mod configuration tool that's going to allow modders quite a lot more freedom in addition to being able to change settings mid-campaign. It is still in beta, so no modders have really had a chance to take advantage of it just quite yet, but given how popular the first one was, I suspect this will become a staple of your Lord orders very quickly as well. Our next entry is one I almost debated leaving off the list because it's mostly a joke entry, but it just looks too damn good to ignore. Majorkill as a Chaos Lord. Does exactly what it says on the tin, makes Majorkill, the personality from YouTube, into a legendary lord for the Warriors of Chaos with an eye-wateringly beautiful model to match. That being said though, I saved the best mod, or at least the biggest mod, for last with Wheeze Special. Not only is it back, but it's even bigger and better than before. In addition to everything it did previously, you can now have a brand new faction with a brand new legendary ward and his own WoW ability, new heroes, new units, new WoW specific units, new campaign mechanics. Listen, there's a lot more than I can possibly cram into a few minute video, so just do yourself a favor and go and download it below. I've left the link in the description, same as all the other ones. With that said, we're going to be all wrapped up for this Wednesday. Jesus, can't talk today. As always, I want to thank you all for spending time with me, and I'll see you all next time.